What we're going to do here is explain how we make the ID cards for the Golden members using a Macintosh computer and Photoshop and Pages. We open our Golden folder here and you'll see we have up at the top members. We open up our members folder and you'll see member IDs. We keep all of the IDs here for everybody that we've made IDs for. So when they renew their membership, we'll have their ID card already made up, and all we have to do is change the expiration date. So we have all of the IDs that we've ever made here in this folder. We're going to take the template that we use. I'll show you the template here. We drop it down into Photoshop. You'll see over on the right hand side all of the different layers which contain all of the information that's on the ID card in separate layers. We're going to take the picture here of one of the members that sent their picture in. Lots of times when we ask for a picture, it isn't exactly what we want. Here's one that this fellow sent in, and it's got a background to it which isn't going to look good on the ID card. So we're going to copy his face here, and we're going to make a copy of it and put it into Photoshop, and we're going to modify this picture so it looks decent on the ID card. We'll open up a new Photoshop program, drop this into the program, and what we're going to do is we're going to take an eraser and adjust the size, and we're actually going to erase everything but this guy's head. We're going to go around the edges here. We're going to erase everything behind him. Now you'll notice over on the right hand side here that there's two layers. There's a top layer which is this face and the bottom layer which is the white. We're going to adjust the color palette, and we're going to select a gray. We're then going to take and dump the gray into the area behind his head. So now we're going to save it to the desktop. We're going to name it with his name. We're going to save this to the desktop. And you'll see, we'll close this program down, and you'll see over on the right hand side here, we now have his picture with the nice gray background behind it. What we're going to do next is we're going to take this template again. We're going to open it up in Photoshop now that we have his picture, and we're going to go to the layer that has the other picture on it in the template, and we're going to delete it. We then need to dump the picture that we just modified onto that ID card. So we're going to open this up. We're going to copy the entire picture of his face that we just modified, and we are going to place it into this ID card. Now it's a separate layer, and you'll see that the picture is quite large. And that's the way we want it, because when we reduce the size, it maintains the sharpness of the picture, so the picture has a high resolution to it. So we're going to shrink it down to the right size, and we're going to click on OK as far as the size is concerned. You'll see the picture is a little dark, so what we're going to do is we're going to go up to here to the adjustments, and we're going to brighten his picture up. Now it looks much better on the ID card. Now we go down to our layers again. You'll see the layers at the bottom here. We're going to highlight the expiration date. Now we're going to go up here and we're going to put in the date 1 year from the time that this member joined. So we type in the expiration date, February 13th of 2014. We then go down to the right hand side to the palette again to the layer which is his name. We're going to highlight the template name, and we're going to replace it with this guy's real name. We do the same thing in every field. We go over, highlight the date of birth. We're going to type in his date of birth. The address. We get all of this information off of his application. This is Steve Marzette, and he's, I believe, from Midland, Texas. We type in the address here. We don't have to change the sex. It's already set for male, so unless it's a female, we don't have to change that. So then we go to his ID number, which is the number that's appointed to him. He's in consecutive order. So we then type in his member ID number, which is the number that we put into the computer for his name. We then save this to the desktop, and we put in his name, last name first, and first name last. So when we save this into our folder, all of the pictures will be in alphabetical order. It'll be easier to find. We save this, close down the program. You'll see we now have his ID over on the side here. Open it up, and there's his finished ID card. You'll see here now in the to be printed folder is where we save the ID card. You'll see we have all the ID cards that would need to be printed out that we've just made. Each one, if we don't have a picture, we put the Second Amendment in the upper right hand corner of the ID. We're going to open up our template, the 8.5 by 11 template, where we place the ID cards to have them printed out. You'll see there's space on here for 10 ID cards on this page, and this is a Pages document. We open up each ID card, and we actually copy it, the same as we did the photo. We're going to copy this, and then we're going to place that picture on our template. You'll see that it's larger than the template line, so what we're going to do is we're going to adjust this picture, the ID picture, down to the size that we need that's will fit inside the template. Move it up into the lines. We're just barely inside the line, so when we do cut it with the paper cutter, it cuts it right around the edge of the ID card. We do this with the entire page. We take all 10 IDs, place them inside the template, inside these lines. You'll see there's space for 10 IDs to fit inside here. So when we're done with that, when we have all 10 IDs in, then what we do is we go to our supplies cabinet here, and we've got our card stock, which is a pretty heavy card stock that we use for the ID cards. And we put a card stock in the printer. Make sure it's all set up. Then we go back to our computer and we print. We'll select print, we select the printer, and then we select it on plain paper, best quality, which gives us a high resolution picture. And we select print, and we end up with a page, an 8.5 by 11 page, that has 10 separate ID cards on the front of the page. Then our next step is to take the back side. We're going to close this front side down of the ID. We're going to flip the ID over, put it back in the printer, so it's going to print on the other side, and we then select from our computer the back side, which has our toll-free number and the rules for if you're involved in a shooting, what to do. We're going to select the printer, and we're going to print multiple copies of this. We'll print, and you'll see that the ID now has the rules and regulations and the toll-free number on the back of it. The next step is to use the cutting board and the laminator to finish the ID cards up. So what we're going to do is we have the lines that the ID cards were placed inside. We line them up very carefully on the paper cutter. Cut down the side of the ID cards. First, we have 2 rows, 5 in each row. Then you take each individual ID card, line up the top and the bottom, and cut off the excess. Now we have our ID card with the information on the front and our toll-free number and the instructions on the back. The next step is to take the ID card and to laminate it. So what we do, we turn the laminator on. It takes about 5 minutes for the thing to warm up. And we take our laminating material, which we've got several boxes of this stuff. It's pretty easy to do. You take the laminating material, take the ID card, you open up the laminator. It comes on with 2 sides. You open it up, place the ID card right in the middle. Sometimes it's difficult to get it lined up properly so the edges don't look crooked. Line it up as best you can. The laminator then, when the light comes on saying it's warm enough, then you take the ID card with the laminate on the outside and you turn the machine on, the motor, and put the ID card in this side, and it heats the laminate, melts it onto the paper, and the ID card comes out the other side completed. We then go to the booklet that comes with the ID card. This is the welcome booklet that we put together, that we designed in pages. You'll see it has 4 pages, which makes an 8-page booklet when they're folded in half. So what we want to do is we go to print, and we print 2 pages first. We make multiple copies of this. We'll make 10 at a time, and we'll print from page 1 to 2 because they're printed on 2 different sides. So the printer will print out 2 separate pages printed on one side and blank on the other side. But what we have to do then is, in order to end up with an 8-page booklet, we have to take these, once they're finished, we take the pages out of the printer and we straighten them up, put them back in the printer with the blank side down. This is going to result in the other side of these pages being printed with page 3 and 4. So you end up with an 8-page booklet when the pages are folded in half. Now we have all 8 pages of the booklet that needs to be put together. We then go back to the printer, we close this down, and we open up our cover. This is also done in cardstock. It's a little bit stronger and it makes a nice cover for the booklet. We're going to make multiple copies of this also. And put in multiple copies here. And then print this out. This is a bit more sturdy stock, makes a thicker cover, and is a little bit more professional. Our next step is to take the piece of paper, the 1 page, what to do when you're forced to use your firearm, and print it out to be included with the packet that we send out with the ID cards. So we'll make multiple copies of this, print, and we've got our one-page document, what to do when you're forced to use your firearm. Next step is to fold the booklet. So we'll take the cover first. We put it on the stopper here with the paper cutter and fold it in half. You take page 1 and page 2, the inside of the booklet, fold it, and it's configured in such a way that when you put them all together, you've got page 1 through 8 and the cover. Place this inside of this one, and you've got 8 pages, an 8-page booklet. Take the cover, place the cover on the outside, and we're ready to staple it together. We use a long neck staple so we can get over the width of the paper. Line it up, make sure it's lined up perfect, and put 2 staples in the middle of it to hold the booklet together. The booklet's ready to go. We then go to our template for address labels, and we have to type in the name of everybody we're going to send the IDs to. This template also has space for 10 different names, and we use a label that on an 8.5 by 11 sheet are 10 labels where we have our return address, and then we put the name of each person that we're sending the ID card to. We print out the labels. And we're ready to put everything together. We take a 5 by 8 envelope. We take the label that we just printed the name and address out of. We put it on the envelope. We then take a small card envelope. We use these to put the ID cards in. It gives a bit more of a professional look. We put the ID card inside of this envelope, and we take our booklet that we just stapled together, put the ID card in there. We also have window stickers that we had printed up, and we include one of those in with the ID card and booklet. We take our what to do when you've been forced to use your firearm paper, fold it in half, place it with the booklet, and put everything into the envelope and seal it up, and it's ready to mail. Cost 66 cents for each one, so we bought stamps that we can use, and we just put it on the envelope and we can drop them in the mailbox to our members.